Welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. Today's episode is all about the GeForce GTX 660 Ti in the context of triple monitor surround gaming. So in the past, the 60 level cards, whether they've been capable of running 3 monitors or not capable of running 3 monitors, like a 560 Ti can't even run 3 monitors off a single card. You need 2 of them. It only had 1 gig of RAM, which isn't really enough to run 3 monitors. They haven't really been capable of this. Now we have a $299 card that is capable of running 3 by 1080p monitors in surround gaming in demanding DirectX 11 games like Crysis 2. Stay tuned for more. Let's start with a look at the 660 Ti that we're featuring today. This is Galaxy's GC card with their dual fan double slot cooler, so it doesn't take up any additional space, but what it does do is it cools the GPU more than 10 degrees better under load, under real gaming loads, or rather that's not a game, this is a game, under real gaming loads versus a reference cooler. It can overclock a little bit, which will get you near GTX 670 performance because the 660 Ti is using the same GK104 GPU as the GTX 670 and the GTX 680, coupled with a 2 gig memory buffer, which means you can run triple monitor setups, and the fact that it's running at the same clock speeds as a GTX 670. The only drawback of buying a 660 Ti versus a 670 is that you're getting slightly lower memory bandwidth. Well, not slightly lower. You're going from 256-bit to 192-bit, but instead of what we've seen in the past, where you lose some memory performance and you go down from 2 gigs to 1.5 gigs, or you go to 640 megs or whatever, like oddball memory capacities, NVIDIA has built the technology around this GPU such that they can use mismatched density memory modules, so you can still have an even 2 gigs, or you can even get 660 Ti's that have all that power and 3 gigs of graphics memory so that you can do cool stuff like this, and it runs butter smooth. Now, all of this is useless information without knowing how it performs compared to the other solutions that are out there. So we took the liberty of testing, not in 3D again, so this is in non-stereoscopic 3D mode, against the GTX 670, which costs $100 more, as well as the Radeon HD 7950, which costs not $100 more, but it does cost a little bit more, but has an advantage of having a 3 gig memory buffer, whereas our 660 Ti is only a 2 gig card, which when you're running in surround can make a pretty big difference. So what we found was that our 660 Ti, the Galaxy GC factory overclocked one, was able to perform within about 10 to 15% across a cross-section of titles, including Witcher 2, Metro 2033, Crysis 2. These are demanding titles. What were some of our other titles? Skyrim, as well as, I'm sure there's one more, but I've totally lost it. Don't worry about it. Either way, it performs about 10 to 15% less than the 7950, which, given that a 660 Ti comes in at a lower price point, is pretty darn good. There's also the fact that you reach this threshold where the card is just not really beefy enough to drive 3 monitors, and that is not the case at all with the 660 Ti. So in this case, I'm going to show you the settings that we were running in Crysis 2, which is graphics, 5760 by 1080, beast resolution, system spec very high, DirectX 11 enabled, and I believe there are actually other advanced graphics. We have high-res textures enabled. That is one of the key differences between a last generation 560 Ti and the current 660 Ti, because it has so much memory, you don't have to worry about enabling high-res textures and just destroying your frame rates. So yeah, can we run it on Ultra playably? No, you probably need like dual GTX 680s for that. Can we run it on very high details in 3D? Again, probably not. 3D is very demanding, so you're gonna want like, yeah, dual 680s, or even like triple 680s if you wanna run very high details and triple surround 3D vision, but that's for the most extreme customer. Lots of people can appreciate a surround gaming experience, whether it's for FPS or racing games or whatever else, and the 660 Ti pretty much makes it happen for you. So don't forget to subscribe to NCIX Tech Tips for more videos like this from your favorite e-tailer, NCIX.com.